Hey, what's going on, my friend? Julian Sherman here, and I just got back home. I'm here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I was actually just in Phuket, Thailand for the past 2 months with a couple of my friends and business partners, working on some projects. And the crazy thing is I just got home. I was in Thailand for 2 months. I was kind of upset coming back to the cold here in Philadelphia, but right now I'm in the parking lot of my bank here, just depositing some checks here. Excuse me. You can see some checks here. Let me see if I can show you. Here's some checks. I got a couple checks there, a couple hundred checks here. It's pretty big, stacked up. And the crazy thing to me, the craziest thing is that literally 2 years ago, just 2 years ago, I was just living in my parents' basement. Had no real direction in my life. I was actually let me put this here so you can see me. I was actually a personal trainer making about $10 an hour. That was like the extent of the skill set I had to make money. Didn't really have a skill set to make any money. And I was going to school. I was going to community college for a degree I wasn't really passionate about. And I just got to a point in my life where I was really fed up, being a personal trainer. Not only do you not have enough money to do anything when you're making 10 bucks an hour, there's not much you can do, but my vision, what I wanted to do, I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to do what I want, when I want, with the people I want. And, I was stuck to a physical location. I don't know if you have a job right now and the only way you get paid is if you're at that physical location, but that's what I was doing too as a personal trainer, working in the ghetto of Philadelphia. And I just got to a point in my life where I was fed up. I was fed up, but I always knew I wanted to make six figures and travel the world, but I just didn't know what to do. I couldn't go down the path that my friends and my family said were the right way to earn a six-figure income, like being a doctor, being a physical therapist, being a lawyer, being a dentist, all those things. It kind of depressed me because even if I was to make six figures doing those things, I'd be working, 60, 80-hour work weeks, and I wouldn't have the time to spend the money, because money's one thing, but when you don't have the time freedom to spend that money and do the things you want, like travel, or if you have a family, spend more time with family, it kind of gets to a point where, it's more than the money. You want time freedom. So it wasn't actually, it's funny because it wasn't actually until I was home one day. I was just kind of home from work, sitting in my parents' basement, just on my laptop, scrolling through my Facebook news feed. I wasn't looking for anything in particular. I was just kind of scrolling through my Facebook news feed like we all do, looking at pictures of everyone's food and their statuses and everything. And I actually stumbled across a video of actually my current mentor right now. And what he talked about in the video, it actually blew me away, because he talked about how he had all of the same similar struggles as me, how he was in debt, he was broke, he was working a dead-end job, he didn't have the time freedom or the financial freedom to do what he wanted. And he basically talked about how he turned his whole life around 180 degrees. And he talked about how he kind of found this whole world of affiliate marketing and making money online and leveraging the internet and a laptop to earn an income. And he actually said that he was going to have a webinar. He gave me a link to a webinar that I could click, attend one of his webinars to see exactly what it is that he knew, because that was exactly what I was looking for. I wanted financial freedom. I wanted time freedom. I didn't want a 9-to-5 job. I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to do the things I love. So what ended up happening was I clicked the link to his webinar. I clicked the link to registered for the webinar, wrote down exactly when the date and the time was of the webinar, showed up to the webinar, and that's when everything changed for me. Because that's when it kind of gives me chills now, because I remember just sitting there in my parents' basement, just, if only I could figure out a way to make money online, if only I could find something, I will do it no matter what. I applied the information that I learned on the webinar, I plugged in, and it brings me now to 2 years later. I went from being a broke personal trainer, literally knowing how to do nothing but lift weights, making $10 an hour, going to community college for a degree, excuse me, going to a community college for a degree I wasn't passionate about. It brings me to now, 2 years later, where I actually dropped out of college. I'm now earning a full-time income online, having consistent $10, $20, $30, $40,000 months. And my whole life has changed. Not only have I been able to get these results, but people in our community like Jeff Rayburn, who had no experience online, plugged in 6 months later, he's having consistent $10,000 months. David Trashel, who was making $4,000 a month in his job but had no time freedom, plugged into what we're doing, and in his 8th month he had a 40,000 plus month. Eric Carlson, who was struggling to find ways to make money online for 10 years, plugged into our simple system, and now he's doing a consistent $20,000 plus per month. And the reason why myself, my business partners, and so many people in our community are getting such good results is because we've actually, over the past year now, we fine-tuned an automated system to where myself and a bunch of other 6-figure internet marketers are actually automating 90% of the process of what needs to get done for you to come in and earn an income online and get a result. You know, for me personally, to get to the point where, you know, I would get checks like this in the mail, you know, every single day. I'm waking up to checks here. You can see a huge stack of checks here. You know, it took me a long time to figure everything out, to learn how to run ads, to build capture pages, capture those leads, email those leads, follow up with those leads, split test different ads. It took me a long time to figure it out, but myself and my business partners, we've actually automated that process. So that's why new people have been coming into our community with no online experience, and we're having people in their 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th month start doing 3,000, 5,000 a month, 10,000 a month or more. And reason being, like I said, is because we've automated 90% of the process to where we actually handle 9 out of 10 things that need to be done for you to get a result. And all you have to do is follow a simple system, follow 10% of the work that needs to be done, and you can get a result. So what I'm going to give you the opportunity to do right now is, above this video, below this video, wherever it is, there should be a link where you can actually click and register for our next upcoming live webinar. And on that live webinar, my good friend Eric, who I just told you about earlier, who was struggling for 10 years to earn an income online, he couldn't figure it out. He plugged into our system, and now he's having consistent $20,000 plus months. So what Eric's going to do is he's actually going to break down exactly how our system works, how myself and a bunch of other 6-figure marketers in our community are actually automating 90% of the process so that you can come in and get a result. The same information that I got 2 years ago, which has now allowed me to travel the world. I just came back from Thailand after being there for 2 months. I've lived in Hawaii for a couple months. I've lived in Costa Rica for 3 months. I've been able to travel the world and really live a lifestyle by design. And I'm not telling you these results, you know, that I've been able to earn multiple 6 figures online and help a lot of people earn an awesome income online. I'm not telling you that to brag or boast, because to be honest, if you talk to my friends, my family, I am the last person to brag or boast. I find it very unattractive. It's not to impress you at all. It's to impress upon you what's really possible when you get the right information and you plug in with the right people. You can start getting phenomenal results. So right now, what you're going to want to do is click the link above or below, wherever it is, register for the webinar. That'll take you to a page which will show you the date and the time for the next live webinar. Write down that date and time and make sure you show up 15 minutes early, because our webinars get jam-packed. Sometimes we have over 1,000 people on the webinars, so we do get maxed out. So make sure you show up 15 minutes early at that date and time, and so that way you can guaranteed get a seat. And in the meantime, I'm going to be sending you email reminders for the webinar, so make sure you keep your eyes peeled to your inbox like a hawk so that you can get all the information and see what we're up to. So Julian Sherman here. I'm actually going to go to the bank here and deposit some of these checks here. Got a pretty big stack of checks. A lot of them came in the mailbox while I was gone. So like I said, I look forward to seeing you on the webinar and showing you the simple system that I've used and helped so many people in our community use, you know, just crush it online. So take care. Julian Sherman out, and I'll see you on the webinar. Take care.